couple of deep breaths to connect. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Aloha. So today I woke up numerous times thinking about enough. How much is enough? And a story, previous experience came to mind, so I'm going to share that as I sit here in Templeton just a little bit, because today my hands are super swollen and tired, really sore and swollen. I even had to take my rose ring off because they've had enough. Which reminds me, I'm supposed to put some aloe. There's one right here. They're recovering from the lava, the toxins in the air. They're not super healthy, but she said to take some of this and rub it on my hands. Which also refers to what a sister was talking about, that can somebody that's on low income be able to take care of their health? As that comes to enough is enough, right? After Standing Rock, a story that comes to mind, I was in Houston and I was really, really sick. Standing Rock had taken a lot out of me, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Don't know if you know, but we were poisoned up there, and I had a really bad fever and cough, and I wound up with some Native American tobacco medicine coming my way through a brother, and being gifted a place to stay for a bit and not required to do anything in return. And then this young woman who I'd had previous encounters with and cleaned her house and stuff like that said, "Oh, you can come here for the weekend," and had 3 different offers of places to stay until she got me to move. I moved over, and then she decided she wasn't going to stay away for the weekend, and she sent a text after just one night that I needed to leave. And man, I just really needed a place to just chill for a little bit. And I was trying to get out of that brother space because I'd been there long enough. And she invited me, and then boom, she needed me to go. And I was leaving as calmly as I could, but saying, "Look, like, we're not friends anymore." And when she got home, I went outside, and she was all just, "I need space." So, like, how much is enough space? And how is she providing for her space? And I put a message up on the internet, and somebody came and picked me up from a previous encounter, and I was waiting for him, and she was standing out there screaming at me, "My house, my rules," you know, that I should, if I had a place of my own, this, that, and other. And I say, well, you know, if my dad was giving me $3,000 a month, I wouldn't need to be sleeping with dudes and calling it Tantra in order to have enough. And all of a sudden it was, "How dare you say that about me?" And needless to say, we're not friends anymore. And I wound up through all of those encounters at those people's house, and the man, he had some mental stuff going on, but he pointed out something really, really strongly. He was like, "What have you been praying for?" And I was like, "Just a bit of rest, just like a night's rest." And he was like, "Well, you've got it. Why are you making drama? Why aren't you just enjoying it?" And I got 3 days there, and it was real funny. When I looked up our relationship on The Secret Language, it was heaven or hell, and it was steering towards this hell realm after 3 days, and I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was like, gotta go. And I remembered what he said enough, and I was just grateful for the time that I had. And I got in the cab, and I didn't know where I was going, but it all smoothed out, and I wound up with a sister that helped take care of me, and then my parents put me in an RV for a little bit, and I really got to see, like, just having a roof over your head and just having a space to yourself. That's sometimes sometimes you got to pay too high a price for that. And through the journey of renunciation, it was real funny last night. These two people walked into the restaurant. We actually went out to eat last night. That's a rare thing for me. And then we went out to this Mexican restaurant, and this couple that we had seen at the beach came over and sat down, and they were talking about, oh yeah, we're going to start traveling, when I said I was a traveler. And they were saying, yeah, now that we've got the kids gone, we can, we plan on being gone for 9 months out of the year. And I was like, yeah, well, my travel's a little different. And I said, I'm a renunciate. And he was like, oh yeah, you said that word the other day. What does that mean? And I was like, the renunciation of personal property, personal desire. And he got really quiet, and they both took off and left. And there aren't many people I get to have a conversation about renunciation, because most people are out to get something. Even in the spiritual world, they've got designs on what they need to do, or they need to get, or whatever. And mine is very much just aligning my will with Mama's will, and whatever shows up is enough. I, for 7 years, have lived where what I carry, I can only have what I can carry. And that's not all that much. And boy, when I went up on the side of the road walking, it gets even less. You find out you don't need very much. But separating needs from wants, and really exploring, do we just want to want? I'm getting confronted with that here myself, in this place where it's so beautiful, and I can just relax, and yet my head starts speeding off, and I have to bring it back. No, it's enough. I'm enough. I have enough today. Yesterday when she invited me out to eat, I have just a little bit of money that came in, so surprisingly, over on Maui, to help with my travel expenses, and I had enough to be able to go out to eat, and instead of going, I can't, or any of that. If I have it, I'll use it, as long as I'm not being out of control, which that's not something I tend to be, is out of control with money. It's become very precious, and also not important at all at the same time. But the getting okay with what shows up, and that it's enough for right now. For right now, is it enough? Do I have what I need? One of the definitions of abundance is the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. And the definition of prosperity is the ability to do what you need to do before you need to do it. And currently, like, all I need to do today is chill and relax, and let it be enough that I did all that work for the last week. It's been 1 week of steady, every day being out here temple tending. And last night we celebrated 1 week that feels really good to both of us. and not putting pressure on the future, um, allowing what I have at the moment to be enough. And I encourage you to explore the concept of enough as well. Um, it's all part of feeling okay. You know, I witness so many people, they have so much stuff and they're so insecure. The minute that, you know, they're even projecting into the future. They've got enough today, but oh my gosh, like, and they create fear and worry for themselves and stress. And instead of deciding to live simpler, they get in more distress to try to make more. And the truth is, none of us can make money. It's against the law. We can allow abundance to come into our life, but if we can separate that from money and things and begin working on being gracious in our giving and gracious in our receiving, and working on our entitlement. So many of us feel so entitled to so much, and that has been the, like, checking that privilege. Is that really necessary? Do you particularly deserve that much? I mean, in America, we have storage buildings everywhere. Like, how much is enough? How much is enough love? How much is enough comfort? How much is enough attention? How much is enough money? How much is enough security? And if most of the world don't have it, why are you pissed about not having it? Can you adjust your needs to what's there and simplify and share, so that there's enough for everybody to go around? That brings to mind the picture of, you know, the people in a circle and they've got these big long spoons and they can't feed themselves, but they can feed the other person. And I found the more that I live like that, the more I experience drawing into my life other people that live that way too. And I do have these weird experiences sometimes, I guess, just to remind me, but it's not part of my reality most of the time to be in those situations with people that aren't grateful, and live simply. And, like, here you repurpose everything. I mean, even the weeds that I'm pulling are food for something else, or they're making dirt to fill in an area. We can use better what we have and need less and simplify and have enough. And when we're struggling and we're challenged and we don't have our places of our own, or we don't have what we think we need, if we'll get grateful for what we have. My experience proves that something better comes. We have to be grateful for what we have. If we're sick and we have comfort for even just a little while, being grateful for it, not whining about what we haven't had in the past and what we might not have in the future, and just be in the now and be in enough and be enough. Those critical parents in our head, they're rough. And the nice mama says, take a break. Work hard, but take a break too. And enjoy your work. If you can make your work play, then it's not so much work. And if we can look at life as our job, instead of something we're entitled to enjoy every minute of every day of, then we can actually enjoy the process. And that was the card I pulled this morning, was trust the process. visions after death. And that's what I'm contemplating on today, pondering and just practicing being enough. As I'm going to go grab some noni fruit, which smells very stanky, but I'm going to grab this noni fruit and put it on my hands too, because the medicine is all around us. And I think we can improve our health. It is very challenging when you are on a limited budget and you've got a family, but you can make choices. You've got to get super creative. We were making laundry detergent here, and it takes so little to make laundry detergent. You got to get back to your roots, and yes, community, pulling up, like plant even a garden on your windowsill and start growing some of your own food. Every effort counts. And when you start making the efforts with something little, the universe like comes in and supports you, is my experience. And my medicine has come to me. I haven't had the money to pay for my medicine. That's in fact a sign that it's not for me, really, if it costs money. That leads me into the previous, like, spiritual superiority. These people say you have to have all these specialty items to be able to open your third eye, to awaken and stuff like that. We got to be really careful not to let our egos go into that and then be demonizing people that don't have that. And, like, I'm a freak and I move around and I eat what's available. Or an opportunivore. For the most part, if I have the opportunity to eat, I do. And I think gratitude is the most important part of that. People all over the place have eaten all different kinds of things. And some people are healthy and some people aren't. I work with that blessing, what comes in and what comes to me, and being super grateful for it. And I do intermittent fasting to make sure that I'm really grateful for my food. And I've decreased there too, my amounts of eating, for the most part, unless it's super abundant, and I just kind of let it come and go. Eating with the seasons, eating local, foraging. There's spinach growing out here on these trees, and it's like a different kind of spinach. So if you get curious and you get creative, you can supplement your health. Find a local farm that needs some assistance and go work it. Find some neighbors that got some trees, some elders. A lot of times elderly have those trees, but they can't pick them anymore. And go learn to can with them by picking with them. She'll start talking to you if you start working with her, and she'll guide you to your medicine, and how to take care of her too. So I say, get into the dirt, get into the water. That's your first medicine. And eat as close to the earth as you can, and as close to your home as you can, what is available, and cut down our carbon footprints rather than going for these specialty designer things, especially if we don't have some significant health problems. And if we are getting them, my spiritual peeps, share them with somebody that doesn't have access to that. Instead of just sharing your experience on Facebook, provide it to someone else to check your ego with it. That's what I did till I ran out of it all, and gave up on multi-level marketing being the thing of the future to change the world, and went for simple, and keeping it very humble. So enough is enough. Discover what's enough, and live there. Don't know how this will sound again, but these are my thoughts as I ponder here at the temple. You can see behind me. You see that face? Alright, loving you from Big Island, Pele. Tutu Pele, love you. Mwah. Sending you some medicine. Can you feel it?